Hello there, everybody. Top of the evening to ya. It is your favorite, or one of your McFavorite psychosplatters, aka patio furniture. That is my Irish given name. I'm teasing, kids. I'm teasing. I had several people go off and go, "Hey, are you going to do a stream?" Well, yes, yes, I am. I just figure, what the hell? I hope that everybody has gone off and had a decent St. Patty's Day, whether or not it was whether or not it was having having that corned beef and cabbage, or did we go off and drink the beer, drink the green beer, to drink some Guinness? I don't know, kids. I don't know. If you're bored, I dropped a little link to join in on the conversation. Hello there, everybody. It is, of course, the tail end of St. Patrick's Day, and I kind of figured, I thought that I would come on because it appeared that some of my other streams that I normally follow are either done for the day or they're not coming out at all. I was on Joe's for 2 seconds, me and Mr. Mayo, because I've had a busy day. I've had a real busy day, and I don't think Macamania is doing a stream tonight, it looks like. So I thought, at least maybe for about the next 60 to 90 minutes, I thought maybe I'd try to entertain whoever the heck wants to. So I hope everybody has had themselves a decent day, nevertheless. This isn't exactly music related, but let me go off and tell you what I'm setting myself up for, okay? Literally a week from today, I am going to go to, for the first time in 6 months, there's a comedy club that is actually in the next town over, going south. And they are going to have a former member of Saturday Night Live. He is going to appear there for 4 shows total, which are all sold out. I pulled the trigger on the tickets. Me and my friend Donna Joe Cat Lady, we're going to go off and go see Chris Kattan. That's right. Chris Kattan. I don't know if you were a fan of his over at SNL. I mean, of course, you had Mr. Peepers, and you had Mango, and and a bunch of other stuff. I just ended up getting. I got a copy for me, and I got a copy for Donna, and we're going to take these with, because I'm one of those people that goes off and I'm an autographed chow hound, okay? I'd like to try to get, of course, like I brought up before, and maybe an autograph or a pic or something like that. They had a buy two get one free sale, okay, at the local vintage stock. So I went off and I was like, well, let's see what the heck I can find for Chris Kattan stuff, so that I could maybe get some DVD covers signed for some of my friends and for me, okay? So, of course, I had to find this. Oh, yeah. Remember that one? Oh, boy. Night at the Roxbury. So I got Night at the Roxbury with Chris. And then I'm not going to lie, I forgot that Chris was in this, but I haven't seen this in so long. But he was with Eddie Griffin and Denise Richards. Undercover Brother. Yes, he's in Undercover Brother. So I thought I would get that. And that is right, Groovy Lisa. That is so correct. Top of the morning in evening indeed. Thank you for popping by, dear. Always good to see you. And then the thing is that I tried to do my homework. I brought the list of the movies and stuff that he was in, and I didn't have any of that. And I'm like, oh, hell. So since it was buy two, get one free, I figured for my friend, I grabbed this. I grabbed the Beatles Unauthorized. It's not exactly the greatest thing, okie dokie, but I did like some of the interview segments. And I remember getting this, I think, at a dollar store many, many years ago. This one and the one from Alf, the limo driver, not Alf, the I want to eat cats. Not that Alf. Oh. Yep. Thank you for noticing. first name. What's your first name? Like I said, my name's Paul. I'm trying to write all these down so that I don't have to go off and keep spitting it out. I'll tell you why about the Care Bears if you care to. See what I did there? So the reason why, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it a lot. It just, I feel better knowing I'm not trying to be nosy on anybody. It's just I like first name bases. So so here's the thing. The Care Bears, I thought I would put behind me for once. All right. They're on my Psychos Platters channel, especially if you go dig back into the episodes. Geez, from about I've done 320, but around episode 150 to about maybe 100 to 200, episode 100 to 200. I used to film in my wife Jessica's office, my late wife Jessica, and she had, just because she could, she had Care Bear blankets. That was her big thing. So she would have them pinned against the whole entire, all around the wall, mostly like 3 walls, okay? And one would cover the shades. So when I would shoot my show, people saw the Care Bear curtains and they would make comments. Nothing real bad, but they just noticed. So in a way, this is like a minor dedication to my late wife today. That's all. I just thought I'd put it up real quick. But good eye, Thomas, for getting that too. Let me show you something else that I picked up very, very recently. I was at an antique mall. This isn't music related, but it's Monty Python related. You see, I love Monty Python, Flying Circus. I loved all that stuff. So the thing is that I managed to, in one booth, I found some very cool 45s, which I'll show in another show. Some of them were Sun records too, by the way, later, like late 50s Suns that I didn't have, which was beautiful. But then I found this book, and I always check everywhere I go, every resale shop, every antique mall, because here in Northwest Arkansas, even before I came down here 13, 14 years back, celebrities would show up and do book signings at Walmart, Borders, I miss Borders, Barnes and Noble. Hello there, Beans. How are you? Beans, what's your first name so I can write this down? Because I like I said, I told Thomas, first name here, that I want to try to know all your guys' first names so that I can go along here. So the thing is that I went off and found for $3 from BBC Book, Michael Palin Knew Europe. I like Michael Palin. I like everybody in Monty Python, okay? So here's the thing. I'm looking in this book, and it's a beautiful book. Hey, Paul. Paul, thank you so very much. If anything, Straight from Ireland is the best. I'm glad you popped in to wish me and everyone here a happy Patty's Day. That's right. Thank you so much. It was really, really good, actually. Really, really good. Let's see here. My grandpa pronounced it Arkansas. Well, yeah, I could see that. Thank you, Beans, for, or should I say, Kevin. So, like I said, really cool book. It's a nice picture book. He went off. Let me show you. Let me see if I can show you a decent page in here. I don't know. He just went off and was being silly, and he had all different kinds of things, right? Here's the back cover. But here's where we're going on the meat and potato thing, okay? So I go in here to, now, I cannot figure this out. But look at that, all right? Now, I'm sitting here, and I'm going, wait a second. Now, I know some people will buy books and scrawl something and dedicate, right? But I said, could this be? And I looked up on Google examples of Michael Palin's autograph. And guess what? That is his signature. That's how he signs things, or at least back then. And I'm like, holy crap. So I've got it's my second member of Monty Python. I have an Eric Idle autograph. So really, really nice to have this for $3. $3. It's crazy. Crazy stuff, I tell you. You just never know. But I have found all different kinds of signed books around here. Seriously. And so I'm happy about that. All right. So let me think here a minute, okay? I'm a little disorientated today. My body clock, I don't know about you guys, but ever since that daylight savings nonsense, okay, my body clock, my sleep clock's thrown off. And I just feel tired a lot more this week. Not sick. I'm not sick. I'm just tired. So, like I said, this might be like a 60 to 90 minute stream today. But I wanted to be on here. So, what do we have? I went and pulled out another pile of albums just at random. Seriously, I take them out in chunks. And so we're going to start off with Elvis Aloha from Hawaii. Thank you very much. VIA Satellite. How fancy. How fancy for 1973. And of course, this was your gatefold. And it is, of course, in good old Quadrodisc. This was probably the first quad album that I remember getting, you know. So I don't know if any of you guys are at least average Elvis fans out there, okay? So the thing is, I went last September. Fathom Events was doing a 50th anniversary of Elvis's That's the Way It Is movie from 1970. Blew my mind, okay, because I never got to see any Elvis movie, let alone an Elvis concert film in Dolby on the big screen. I loved it. I just damn loved it. It kind of reignited for me my love of Elvis. And the rumor I am hearing, although of course this is going to be 2 years away, is that the next treatment, the 50th anniversary treatment, will be for this, and it will come out in the theaters at that time frame. So Elvis, yeah, definitely, I will go see that. I was a little kid when that came out. I do remember seeing it on TV, but I was like 6. Okay, I mean it's just strange to remember this stuff. All right, next, I do remember finding this at a Goodwill. She's probably about 2-3 years ago, and it just stood out amongst everything else. On Checker, Gene Sandler, the Duke of Soul. Yes, kids, not the Duke of Earl, but the Duke of Soul. And this is probably the only Gene Chandler I have. It needs a little cleaning, but I have. This is the only album I've got. But yeah, 65, I think this came out. And so one of my favorites other than Duke of Earl is Groovy Kind of Situation. I always like that song. That's also a little bit of a Northern soul feel to it. So, and so that's how that is. Yes, indeed. Anybody wants to chime in for a little bit, that is perfectly fine by me. I think I showed this in Macamania's stream yesterday, though. I don't know why I had it, but from 1979, Michael Nesmith, Infinite Rider on the Big Dogma on Pacific Arts. That's right. This is the one with Cruisin' and Magic. This night is magic. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it. So, you have all kinds of fun here. Really, really, seriously. If I remember correctly, this would be the last one for a while, except for the Live at the Palais, which would come out. In fact, I don't think he put out a studio album until Tropical Campfires in '92. That was his next one for studio. This next one here is a band that was very popular in especially in Illinois and Indiana, but they broke out at least regionally and had a hit called Two Hangmen around 1969, 70, if I remember correctly. But this is Mason Prophet, Rockfish Crossing. Now, Mason Prophet had the Talbott brothers, and you're talking about John Michael Talbott and Terry Talbott, and a very excellent band. If you don't know who these guys are, go listen to Two Hangmen as a sample, and I think you're going to dig it. Now, as far as for John Michael Talbot is concerned, if that name does sound familiar to you, that's because after in the 70s, I want to say the mid 70s, if I remember correctly, could be late 70s, he became a born again Christian after having albums with the Talbott brothers, which, of course, like I said, was him and Terry, along with some bluegrass musicians on Warner Brothers. But John Michael Talbot ended up being a born again Christian. He has made many, many albums, and his guitar work is beautiful. And if you ever come across any of those Christian albums, The Lord's Supper seems to be the one that I see the most when it comes to John Michael Talbot. I think The Painter is maybe the second one I saw from John Michael. And get this, he lives not too far away from me here in Eureka. Well, no, not Eureka Springs, excuse me, Berryville, Arkansas, which is, I think, slightly south of Eureka Springs. And I'd love to go see him sometime. That's right, Beans. Cruising was hit single material. It should have made it more. I'm trying to remember where I actually first saw that. It could have been Pop Clips. That was a little bit before MTV, and I think that's where I saw that video first, before MTV. And I think MTV only showed it once or twice. Although, as we all know, pretty much Mike Nesmith, well, invented MTV per se, for the basic model anyway. I always thought, in my opinion, when it comes to MTV, all right, the first 5 years, first 5 to 6 years, excuse me, were the best that channel ever had. So from August 81 to around 1987, with the exception of course, Headbangers Ball. I liked Headbangers Ball. Once in a while, I'd watch 120 minutes, but I kind of could give two shits about Yo MTV Raps and the Cribs and all that other junk. I'm like, whatever, I mean, I'm not knocking rap music, okay? I like some of that too, but it's just, to me, they were starting to get more reality based, and I'm going, I don't want that. I want music. See, when MTV came out August 1st to 81, all right, I was skeptical because I remember that the channel it was supposed to be on, I remember that there was this, whatever graphics for 1981 on a cable station, okay? And it just kept flashing on occasion, MTV 24-hour music. And I said to myself, I'm like, who the hell would want a 24-hour music stick? I was wrong. I got hooked pretty damn quick. I was watching Noon that day, and when Video Killed the Radio Star came on, and the thing was, there was so many songs at that time that I never heard of. I started putting a notebook near the TV set, and so that was the thing. I would write down songs that I liked, and I would try to accumulate at the record stores, or I'd ask for 45s and stuff like that for those bands. I remember when I got my first check from my first job, I bought the Rio and Cruisin' video EP. Do you know what, Kevin? I actually know what you're talking about, but I've never seen one. Never seen one in my hands. That's pretty neat. I don't think it lasted really long either. Yep, that's right. Reality is overrated. I will say this, though, as far as for MTV was concerned, I don't know if any of you guys are going to remember this like I do. This was, I think, maybe 87, 88. They had a goofy little game show called Remote Control. And for the life of me, I couldn't even tell you who the hell the host was. He was that memorable. I just remember that there was Carrie Werr was the eye candy. Colin Quinn. I think that was his first gig, was that show. And they would show once in a while, if you remember this show at all, they would have once in a while Colin Quinn's cousin Stickpin Quinn. And Stickpin Quinn was dressed up like a greaser. Okay, so he was dressed up, with the leather jacket and the switchblade and everything, and he would have that attitude, right? That is correct, Beans. That is correct. That's where I was going. Yes, that's right. A young Adam Sandler. That is where I think he got his start, and that was some of the funniest bits to me. That and the stupid, I can't remember what the guy's name was. He was chubby, he had an afro. He'd get dressed up in a Pope uniform and run around. And I'm like, what the hell am I seeing? But you're right, a young Adam Sandler as Stick Penguin. But so yeah, so MTV, I loved it. I will tell you this though. How about this? And I remember the day on this because for some reason, I think I had a doctor appointment. That's the only reason. No, wait a minute. No, that's not true. No, because I did get to see it. I'm sorry. But I wasn't in school that day. That's why. But I happened to be home. So on Lincoln's birthday, 1985, you remember when Martha Quinn used to go off, and if you sent postcards in and she read your rock and roll trivia question on air, you would get some prizes. This guy, yeah. And I had a thing for Martha Quinn. Nina Blackwood wasn't too bad either. I heard a weird rumor that Nina was a former bit softcore porn star. I don't know how true that is, but I could have sworn I thought I read that somewhere. But Martha, she went off and she announced my trivia question, which I still remember this. So the trivia question was this: what was the only Rolling Stones song that had John Lennon and Paul McCartney singing background vocals? I'll give that to you guys. Who's going to answer that? Because this is easy now, but back then it wasn't so easy. Which Rolling Stone song has John Lennon and Paul McCartney on backing vocals? And it is the only Rolling Stone song that has that. The Beatles and the Stones had such a strange relationship. Kind of a cool. No, Edward, but I love that song nevertheless. I'll give you a second or two, guys, and then I'll give you the answer. Martha was a freaking cutie. That's right. I'll tell you, I don't know what I would have done if I was in the same room with her. Oh. That is correct. That is correct. Kevin, we love you. From 1967. Always loved that damn song. But I mean, with the Stones and the Beatles, like I said, they were friends, they were enemies, they were frenemies. What I mean by that is for the press. But I mean, let's face it, Beatles went off and gave him I Want to Be Your Man, right? Which I like the Stones version, I like the Beatles version. I like both of those, okay? And then Brian Jones was like hanging around. He was on Yellow Submarine, doing a bit part there. He played the sax, and I did not know he knew how to play the sax, although I should have known better because let's face it, you're right. It is a good song, Edward. You're correct. The thing is that I knew he could play all these instruments, and that's what colored the Stones sound, especially in the mid 60s. That's what makes those songs extra special to me. Okay, and hearing them, because I mean, like Under My Thumb, you got that marimba, you've got Paint It Black, you've got all these other ones, Jumpin' Jack Flash, where he's playing that oboe-like thing in the back, or you're like sitting there going, okay, the sitar. So I didn't, I should have known that he could play the sax. I just don't know why he didn't. And he is on the Beatles You Know My Name, Look Up My Number, which I'm like, I don't know why, but that's such a strange, goofy ass song. I like it. I just only hear it about once a year, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's this one. So, I guess the origins of that song go back even in 1967. They started it in '67, and it took 2 years to get that damn song finished. But Brian Sachs stayed in there, so that was good. And well, geez, Mick was like friends with, you know, I love Ruby Tuesday. I do. Uh, it doesn't come on the radio that often, but when it does, I will sing along. And thank God nobody's in the car when I'm singing along, because nobody wants to hear "Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday. Who could hang a name on you?" Yeah. So 2000 light. Oh, I'll tell you something. It only took what? About 50 years roughly for Satanic Majesty's Request to get kind of cult-like status. I just remember in the 80s when I started collecting more, okay, and I would come across that album very scarcely. They actually did make a version, I guess, after a while without the lenticular, but I'm led to believe like the first 2 to 3 years they kept that lenticular where you could tilt it, and then they stopped it and just made it a straight print, which to me is boring. I saw for example, Captain Beyond, that first album where the first pressings were lenticular and then it went straight. I'm like, I don't want that. I want the lenticular press. But yeah, okay, fine. They were trying with Satanic Majesties to try to do or outdo Sergeant Pepper. I don't know if that really was the original intent, but I think they just simply wanted to make their version. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I loved, She's a Rainbow, 2000 Light Years from Home. Two, not 2000, man. I think that was on that album too, 2000, man. Which of course I love when Ace from Kiss goes and covers that. I think that's great. But like I said in yesterday's stream to somebody, maybe it was my stream, maybe it was Richard's stream, that from Beggar's Bank. Yeah, thank you, Beans. 2000, man. Okay, I'm half tired here. So the thing is, I said, and if you disagree, that's fine. I mean, once again, I always say, everybody's, opinions and assholes. Everyone's got one. So, but from Beggar's Banquet on this bookcase end to Exile on Main Street, that seemed to be the perfect Stones era. The perfect. Okay. I mean, that was their golden era. Not knocking the Jones era before that, and not knocking the stuff after that. But to me, in my opinion, Goat's Head Soup was kind of a decline. Now, and once again, just my opinion, I heard some of those extra bonus tracks that they attached, the Stones did for this new press. They should have put some of those bonus tracks on the original release, and I think at least it would have made. I think there was 4 or 6 bonus tracks. I want to say 2 to 3 of those would have made Goat's Head Soup at least a little bit of a stronger album. Okay, it's only rock and roll. I like the title track, and I like Ain't Too Proud to Beg, and I think one other song, and I'm just like, to me, it's a misstep. Can't get past Sticky Fingers. I guess I don't blame you, but for some reason, I do dig Exile. I do. That was another one of my first Stones albums that I ever found was Exile. Oh God, Sway. I haven't heard Sway in a while, to tell you the truth. I think Keith Richards is the one involved with, and and that's the other fun thing too, because when you get a Stones album, it's always spelt the Keith track. And you know what? When Keith does his track, that's some of actually the best damn highlights. I mean, I think so anyway. I like Happy, and I like Sway, and I like oh hell. Okay, so when they did Bigger Bang in '05, all right, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the title of the Keith track, but when I heard it, I'm like, you could feel the emotion and the tiredness and the heartbreak in his voice. And I'm like, shit. He goes, because it's Keith Richards. I know I'm saying Keith. And to me, it just made it more real. Okay. I like all the Stones. I do. And obviously, what was it? There was a weird, dumbass rumor in the early 80s after Tattoo You that Mick was going to leave the Stones. That was a strange ass rumor. I think that lasted a couple months. Okay, after the Still Life tour. Okay, and because the Who were breaking up. Oh no, I was waiting for you. I was waiting for you to show up, Steve. Hey, psychos and everyone. Let me see if I can do this. Hey, I went to dinner with friends. They ordered duck and I got stuck with the bill. Oh, no respect. Duck. That's what I do with my grandson. He's 3. He just turned 3. We go, duck. So, so there was this weird rumor that Roger Daltrey was going to join the Stones. I'm going, oh, knock it off. Just knock it off. Exactly. Take it so hard. I'm gonna have to write that down because I don't know if I heard that. Take it so hard. Wait a minute. Was Take It So Hard one of the singles? I'm trying to remember, but I'm writing it down anyway because that solo album, from what I remember hearing, what the hell was that song? Wicked as It Seems. Is that it was Wicked as It Seems? Does that sound right? Because I remember hearing that on the radio, and I was like, oh hell, I like this one. See, there you go. You love Between the Buttons, Exile on Main Street. I think you're right. I don't think Daltrey couldn't have survived the Stones. Oh, okay. Thank you. Somebody commented, I think it was Woodland Goblin over in Mayo Stream. What if Charlie Watts would have joined the Beatles? Different feel, right? Because I mean, let's face it, Charlie was a jazz feel, but Charlie is perfect at where he's at. I trying to hear the Beatles songs in a Charlie. I'm curious, just like once. I'd like to hear it somehow, but I mean, I love Charlie Watts. He's another one of my favorite drummers too. Okay, look, I like Ringo. I really, really do. What was it? Would I call him a great drummer? No, but he knew what to do. He knew what to do in those Beatles songs. He was in the pocket. That's what I'll call it. He was in the pocket, and you cannot knock him for that. I like I said, Ringo may not be my favorite drummer, but he's the favorite drummer for the Beatles. Now I'll get all the Pete Best fans pissed off. I like Pete too. Don't get me wrong. I actually have a Pete Best autograph, signed 8x10. Saw the '96 Quadrophenia tour. Roger was having a tough time. Oh, I could have sworn I heard on and off since the 90s. He has had vocal problems, and I don't know if he's had a combination of doctor visits mixed with vocal rehab, with vocal coaches, which, I mean, let's face it, he's an intense singer, intense. And he started, the Detours was 62, right? So he was singing for a long ass time by the quadruple. And I'll admit, Steve, I'm kind of jealous. I never got to see the Who live. And the one that really kind of pissed me off was my friend had a spare ticket for the 82 Rosemont Horizon farewell tour. And hang on a second. Ringo couldn't do a drum roll to save his life, but he's never missed a beat. That's kind of a fair assessment, really, Tim. You're right. If Charlie was in the Beatles, Rain and A Day in the Life would have had no drum fills. Yep, you're right too, I think. Seriously. And but it's a woulda, shoulda, coulda. But yeah, I should have seen the Who at least when John was alive with them too. Because now it's just the Roger Pete show, which I'm not really knocking that, but I just really would have loved to have seen at least the three of them. Of course, I would have wanted to see him with Mooney. I don't honestly think Kenny Jones really did a bad job. Okay, Kenny Jones was Kenny Jones. Kenny Jones walked into that band knowing that everyone knew he was not going to try to even attempt to mimic Mooney. He was going to do his own damn sound. And from what I'm led to believe, though, I think it was Roger's book, if I've got this right, although I haven't read Roger's book. I read Pete's book. No, wait a minute, that's not true. I did find a copy of Roger's book. Sorry. It was one of those two. I want to say it was Roger, that he went off and he said that at first he kind of vetoed the decision on Kenny Jones. But okay, so I've said this before in some of my videos. Face Dances from '81 is one of the best damn Who albums, but it does not get enough love. I don't understand. It's Hard is, in my opinion, not that great. Here we go with my EP comment. It would have made a stronger EP. It's Hard would have been, okay? There's I can think of maybe 4 really good songs on there. The rest of it is meh, in my opinion. Once again, just my opinion. Fish covered quadrophene. Oh, hey, wait a minute, Steve. Can I ask you? Okay, wait a minute. I know you've seen a lot of Fish shows. May I ask? Did you live in Illinois, or you just happened to be there because you were following him for a little while? Because I mean, the Rosemont, I will admit, it's not a great place for a concert. The acoustics are screwy. I only ever went to 2 shows there, and I never was really that big of a fan, but I was grateful at least the venue was there. Klimberg from Blondie would have made a really good drummer for the Who. You might be onto something there, Tim. I do like the way he drums for Blondie. I've also tripped on a couple other things he's done outside of Blondie. This album I'm going to bring up isn't exactly that great, but I thought his drumming was pretty good too. Was a one-off album called Checkered Past, which was done after Blondie's first breakup. And if I remember correctly, it has him in it. Michael DeBar, I think, was in that. One of the Sex Pistols. But it's an interesting thing for you to look on YouTube and check it out. Checkered Past. That was the name of the band. Oh, and Lawrence Juber from Wings does 1 or 2 guitar tracks on there too, by the way. Kenny Jones was an amazing drummer, just not for the Who. Yeah, you're right. He was really good for Small Faces and Faces. You know, he really, really was. But I'm not knocking him either. I mean, like I said, I don't know who else was in the running besides Kenny. They said there was one other person, but at the last minute they couldn't do it. So that's why they went with Kenny. Zach Starkey is a good drummer. I do like Zach's work. I really, really do. I think he learned from some of the best. I just think it's funny, though, of course, that Bonham was his favorite. not Ring Bonham. Let's see. Yes, I do. Small Faces is underrated. They don't get the love that they deserve. I gotta confess, I've got to get a really good Small Faces comp, maybe one that's about 2 or 3 CDs. I know there's a couple official versions now because I'm not gonna lie, I've come across mostly on cassette though, not vinyl. I came across some semi-crappy cassette comps. I'm like, I don't know who the hell was either licensing them or swiping. The sound wasn't that great. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't sell these things in truck stops. I'm just telling you, because they didn't sound good. Oh, okay, okay. I was just curious. Thank you. Okay, I had a feeling I knew it was one of the Sex Pistols. I like Steve Jones's guitar work. I have that album Mercy, if I remember correctly, was the name of that album. I picked that up not too long ago, actually. So, yeah, that's right. He was with Oasis. You know, and I said this before in somebody's stream. Liam and Noel need to just say fuck it. You know, if you got to duke it out for one real good Donnybrook, do it, and then get your asses back in the studio for one last album. I know they got one last album left in them. A one good last album in them. Where do we petition for that? Right. You're right, Tim. I remember hearing about that. Um, you know who told me that? I'll tell you who told me that. Brad Elvis. Brad Elvis, the guy who's been drumming for the Romantics now for 25 plus years. I met the Romantics in the early 2000s. I'll show the pictures sometime. But Brad, who of course was in, he started out in Screams, which cut an album on Infinity in 78, 79. They opened up for Van Halen on one of the early tours. And then they made the Elvis Brothers, which was out of Champaign, Urbana, if I remember correctly. And some of those albums are pretty damn good. I'm still looking for one of them. But yeah, he's the one that told me about Clem Burke. And I'm like, I didn't know that. Jody Stevens is a completely underrated drummer. If I remember correctly, Jody Stevens, big star, right? Oh man, here's my guilty as charged. I don't have any big star stuff. I try to get original. That's how I am. I'm pretty picky, damn it. Unless it's some record store day release that it's new, like let's say it was an unreleased big star concert, or hey, here's some unreleased stuff. We're gonna put it out for record store day. Then I'll grab that. Okay. Yes, Zach is a good fit for the Who. I'm honestly glad about that. And if I remember correctly, oh, okay, good. You know, my memory is not so good when I'm tired. And the secret is this is decaf coffee. I know, but it's 10:30, and if I drank calf coffee, I'll be up till 6 a.m. Now, anybody out there that is an Iron Maiden fan, and I am, but I don't know the offshoot stuff very well. Didn't Zach at one time work with Adrian Smith? I think I think he worked on either in Adrian Smith's group or he worked on a solo album from Adrian Smith. Yes, Love Maiden indeed, Steve. I always call it Must Have Maiden. I copied that from, there was a radio show. Okay, let me refill my coffee cup. I'm going all over the place tonight. Okay, but just bear with me on this because I'm going to tell you an interesting story. At least I think it's interesting. And it has to do with radio in the 80s. Oh, man. Good thing my coffee maker is literally 2 feet from here. So, okay. So even though I've collected records now, in essence, since 1979, but really before then, but I only started to really appreciate and collect within my budget. Because let's face it, I was a 12-year-old little shit, yard mowing money, buying that kind of shit. That's how I made my money with records. And I started to buy and sell records too. So when I went to college the first time around, and I know some of you people are going to go laugh when I tell you what I originally went to college for in 1985, 86. If any of you people are from Chicagoland watching this, I went to a college in Oak Park River Forest, Illinois, called Concordia. I studied for a year to be a Lutheran minister. That's right. Could you imagine that, ladies and gentlemen? The Reverend Peace is about to broadcast musical hail ya, musical hail you. You say you got ailments. Go listen to some Ozzy. Go listen to some AC/DC, Sabbath, Iron Maiden. See, so I could have done that, right? So as I scare all 6 people watching away. So I stayed up late at night. I'm 17, 18 years old. I could do that back then a lot. And I'm turning the dial. And somebody, I used to frequent the record stores just as much as the comic book shops because I was collecting comic books and records sort of at the same time in the mid 80s. And they went off, and somebody from Rolling Stone Records, yeah, there was a small chain called Rolling Stone Records in Chicagoland, and I tripped into this guy. He was wearing denim and leather, and I commented on some of his music choices, and he goes, "Yeah, I heard this on VVX," and I'm going, "VVX." Yeah, WVVX, man. And he gives me the call, the call number and stuff like that, the station, dial the dial. And he goes, "But I got to warn you something." He goes, "Don't listen before 6 p.m. And I'm going, "Why? Am I going to turn into a pumpkin?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Because from 6A to 6P, it's all Polish music." Not that I'm knocking Polish music, but there was a heavy Polish audience in that area, okay? So I'm not kidding you because I heard it. I remember hearing this. So I would tune in at about 5:58 in my dorm room, and you'd hear the tail end of the polka music, and then 6 o'clock comes, and you're hearing the bells from Hell's Bells, okay? And you hear the DJ go off and go, "It's 6 o'clock. No more polkas. It's time to rip the damn knob off. It's VVX." And then the next thing for 12 hours from 6P, I think, to 6A was all hard rock heavy metal. It was all hard rock heavy metal. And I mean, I knew about Iron Maiden, but I didn't know really about some of the tracks. I started falling in love with some of these bands even more because I heard it on VVX. One of the big DJs, but he wasn't that big back then, but he'd get bigger, was Scott Loftus. Scott Loftus got his start at VVX. And they would go off and, yeah, they would play Bon Scott AC/DC album cuts. They would play Paul Di'Anno, Iron Maiden, that you wouldn't hear very much anymore. Sure, they would play Bruce Dickinson too, but they would play the one-off stuff. Excuse me. And at the end of the day, actually, no, I am so sorry. It was a 6P to midnight. For some reason, the station had to go off the air at midnight. That's why I'm so dumb. but every night the end song would be AC/DC's Night Prowler. That's what they would go off on after 6 hours. Hello, Tom. How are ya? Thank you for subbing today. I got to see that. I am appreciative. All polka, all metal, all the time. That's right, Tim. Alexander the Great. You are so correct. I love, let's see. From that first album with Paul all the way through Somewhere in Time. To me, I think truthfully that was the golden period for Maiden, okay, back then. I'm not knocking Seventh Son, or anything like that. Fear of the Dying, none of that. I'll still, for shits and giggles, I will put on Holy Smoke, because I love how back then anyway that it made total slam of the televangelists. Now, I'm a Christian. I am. I'll admit this, okay? I know you can't tell with all the swearing and this and that, but that's just how I am. But I believe in Jesus. Now, saying that, though, televangelists give our little religion a bad name. And all of them are phonies. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I can't. So when Iron Maiden made fun of them, I laughed my ass off because it's like they deserved it. Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is a good record. It does have some good spots in it. I'm not knocking it. It's just for some reason after Somewhere in Time, I don't know. I kind of just, I don't want to say lost interest. That's all I'm saying. Oh, Two Legs had a oh boy. Yeah. I need to go check on that. That's one of them that I have not caught on to yet. But I remember, let's see, what was it? Bruce had that solo career, and I think, what was it? Balls to Picasso. Tears of a Dragon. I love that damn song. It's such a beautiful damn song. And then there was some stuff. Oh God, what was it called? The Chemical Something. Help me out here, because I want to say, wasn't that the next album after Balls to Picasso? And there was some stuff on there I liked, but I don't know anybody that liked Blaze Bayley in Iron Maiden. Okay. No, Tom, I do get it. I do get it. I like Priest as well. In fact, that VVX station would play a lot of the 70s Priest, and that's how I got to know some of that back catalog. MTV would show Screaming for Vengeance is a great album. Here's the thing. That wasn't the first one I was introduced to. It was actually Point of Entry. Point of Entry, because they were playing the videos for Hot Rockin', Head Out on the Highway, Don't Go. There was another one. I want to say there were 4 songs. Of course, it was really funny to see Rob Halford with a mustache, and he's trying to, and I'm going, oh boy. And I'm like, let's see. I do like some of Defenders of the Faith. In the dead of night, love bites, love bites. I can't sing like him. Or Heads Are Gonna Roll. And there was another one. I think Painkiller is good in parts. I like Touch of Evil. I know that was like the last thing he pretty much did. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a very long time since I played Sad Wings of Destiny. Stained Class. I do like that damn album too. I think I ended up picking up Stained Class along this at the same time with Unleashed in the East. I found both of those at a garage sale. Oh boy, I'll tell you, I Halford. Okay, so here's something I will admit. I know he was in Fight and he started Fight with Scott Travis. I never listened to any of it. I don't know any Fight stuff. Okay, for some reason I tripped on that 2 album. I think I brought this up in a previous stream of Halford and Trent Reznor, and it's interesting in parts. I just never thought I would hear Halford attempt industrial. Um, it could have been better, but I don't think it was total shit either. Some people have put it on like the bottom of their list, and I'm like, I don't know. Once again, Psycho's gonna go. Would have made a strong EP. I mean, that ought to be like one of my tag. That ought to be one of my taglines. It would have made a stronger EP. Oh yeah, hang on a minute. I wasn't ready for that one. Fine, it's pretty good. Both were. Oh, I didn't know they had them for record store day releases. Damn it. It is what it is. Now, I will say this one though, okay? So I have in a box somewhere, and some people are probably gonna go, we'll keep it in the box. I have a 45 minutes, so it's not the whole damn show. Makes me mad. 2002, Judas Priest, live at Milwaukee Summerfest with Ripper. So I do have that. I got the first 45 minutes because I wasn't there. I had to work that night, and my friend forgot to turn the tape recorder, and he was way up front. He was a huge Priest fan. I heard it once, and it actually came out pretty decent. I was very surprised. And you guys, I think, are the first people I've ever told this to. I also happen to have, once again, he forgot to turn the tape over. I got the first 45 minutes of the night before the Ted Nugent performance that he did. My folks were deadheads. I wanted to be a rebel, so that's when I got into Van Halen, Kiss, Sabbath, Maiden, Rush. I don't blame you. Rush, slap in the bass. I like Rush. I do. But okay, so the first album. Oh, that had to have been pretty cool, Tom. Seriously, that had to have been awesome. The reason I picked up a guitar was because of Eddie Van Halen and Jerry. You know what, Steve? I think Eddie blew a shit ton of people's minds. And I'm sad. I'm sad he's gone. I'm really am sad. I am going to be very curious about that archival material with Eddie, and what are we going to be getting out of all this now? Wolfgang, good old Wolfie, he's got a solo album coming out, I guess. I tried to get a pre-ordered signed, which was actually very reasonably priced. Unfortunately, they were all sold out. I do not remember when the release date for Wolf's stuff is, but I am led to believe that him and Alex are basically going to be the curators. I hope I'm saying that right, of the Eddie Van Halen vault. So hopefully, it would be nice to hear something in the next year. That would be nice. I'm not trying to push it. I'm just saying we need music. I did cry when Jerry and Eddie died, and also Neil Peart. Yeah, you know what? Jerry shocked me. I think Jerry shocked a lot of people. And yeah, I knew that Jerry wasn't doing real good. Okay. It's just I don't know. I don't know what to say. He was a very unique individual. So was Eddie. So was Neil. Shit. On drums, he was a master. He was a master on drums. And lyrics and stuff. My first Rush album I ever bought. Okay, I was a little late to the Rush game. All right, but it was because of MTV. I will admit that. Moving Pictures. God, I love Moving Pictures. I love that whole damn album. That's one of those few albums that I can listen all the way through without having to pick up the needle, at all. um, yeah, that's what I heard about the '94, the '95 Dead tour. Uh, and I know that in Chicago, he did not do real well. I guess I just still wish I could have gone. Maybe I would have been disappointed, but at least I would have been there, and I would have got to see the band too, which I heard they were all right that night too. Although let's face it, no Robbie, no Richard, but but it is what it is. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen the Dead once at least, just to not only say that I saw them, but that I could have enjoyed the experience. Because I only have to go by what you or other people that have seen him said, that seeing the Dead was an experience, and I will have to probably at least parallel agree, since I've never been able to go that. Fish, I guess I could, right? If Fish ever come around, maybe I will go take that step and go catch him, because I think I would enjoy it thoroughly. um, but yeah, so Moving Pictures was the first Rush album I got. Then I went, of course, backwards, um, and I got Permanent Wave, got that. And then I liked some of the proggy stuff. And then 2112, and then Rush, Caress of Steel. I kind of jumbled around in the lineup of the chronological a little bit. I just remember the Soldier Field show was good, and it was really hot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to say, honestly, if I remember right, '95, that whole damn summer, I think, was really, really crazy up in that area. My 19-year-old cousin was just getting into the Dead in '95 and wanted to go see him. Then I had to break. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's pretty friggin' brutal. That's brutal. Like I said, I mean, brutal moments. The closest I guess I could come up with was, well, like I said, when my buddy Bill and his dad bought those Zeppelin tickets for Chicago Stadium in '80, November of '80. My 13th birthday present, I was gonna see Zeppelin. Really? Cooked for Fish and the crew, one of the hardest week of works I ever had. But I bet you enjoyed it nevertheless, though, right? That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Um, I never, I never really did that. I was supposed to, for 1 year, I was going to be a runner for whatever the hell Motorola golf tournament. I know that's not music related. That would have been that was rough, because all of the cooks and all of the, like, they would shut down the kitchens for like 3, 4 days at each of the plants, seriously. And they would send all of their cooks and stuff to the Motorola golf tournament. And I remember that was one of Tiger Woods's first. I'm not really into golf. My son's into golf more than I am. Saw the Dead 86 times. That's not counting the times I've seen Dead and Company, Rat Dog, Further, and Phil and Friends. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Man, the only Dead related, what was it? Oh my God. It was out of the blue. It was chance. I was in town. Merle Saunders. I saw Merle. He played us. I don't know. I know he had a small band with him. Merle Saunders. I hope I'm got that damn right. He was the keyboard players for Jerry Garcia band, I think. All right, am I right, Merle Saunders? Because I know that who I went to see was that. That's the only Dead related person I saw. I have a Dead member's autograph. That didn't sound right. A member of the Dead's autograph. on a solo record. I'll show that sometime when I can find it. I'm still moving things around. And this member, oh, okay, good. 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 I wasn't, like I said, it's all screwy here. I bought a brown. Oh, you bought a brown. Oh, no, 3 days. Oh, shit. Hey, guys, I'll tell you something. I could hang with the stoners, like in high school, I hang with the stoner. I never did this stuff. I mean, I know what the culture was at a Dead show. Okay. I bet you at least once, if not more, probably somebody would have slipped me with acid. Whether intentional or unintentional, that's how I probably would have gotten introduced to that, I suppose, right? But I never had to deal with that. I just wasn't. Drugs didn't. I'm just saying drugs didn't appeal to me back then. But I hung around people that did, and of course I got. Let me see if I can do my Bill Clinton impression tonight. I swear to God, I didn't inhale. Anyways, so I got a contact high. We should start a new slasher film franchise starring Tom with his knives. Either that or make some new Ginsu ads. Isn't that what Iron Chef was about? I don't know. So, oh man, oh man, oh man. Let me go a little more into the pile. I brought this up 2 seconds ago. Ozzy. I love Ozzy's music. Not everything, but I love all the good stuff. Drugs are bad, okay? I love South Park. Tim. So, when this came out, and I didn't know the whole record at the time, but when I heard that guitarist, I'm like, who the hell is that? Who the hell is playing? I thought everybody, in my opinion, was on all cylinders, okay, for those first two albums. All right. Bob Daisley, Lee Kerslake don't get enough justice. Well, Lee's dead now. And Bob appeared to be a glutton for punishment because he'd keep coming back in the 80s. And what was it? Some say he actually did minor work on Osmosis even. But for Randy, oh God. Yeah. Man. Those two out. This one and Diary, oh my God. I tried smoking hash but couldn't light the corn. You know what? Was that you that threw that line the other day? Because I couldn't remember who said that. Because I'm like, damn it, that sounds like something I heard. Rip Taylor. Oh my God. Rip Taylor. With the throwing the confetti. He was always crazy. He was, Rip Taylor was in 1 or 2 episodes of the Monkees TV show even too. I remember that. Yep. Mr. Crowley. Mr. Crowley. Man. Man. And then Sharon. What? I don't really want to talk about Sharon. Could possibly Sharon have saved Ozzy's life in the early 80s? Would he have died a hell of a lot sooner if it wasn't because of her? Maybe. I don't know. Point of the matter is that I honestly think she's kind of been a negative influence, at least for quite a while. Like I said, those first 2 albums were golden. I like Jake E. Lee's work. Yeah. Don't. Yeah, it's about right. Yeah, I know. I'm off the Sharon topic. Trust me, I'm done. At least I think I am. But I liked Jake E. Lee's work. Okay, of course it was different. That's all. Nobody's gonna be able to fill Randy's shoes. All right, you just do what you can. And Jakey Lee, he was like, I'm just going to do my thing. And that's when we start seeing the behind the scenes machinations of sneakiness that was starting to go on, because basically they didn't want to give Jake his due. He didn't get jack shit for Bark at the Moon. And and Tommy, let's see, Tommy Aldridge. I think Tommy Aldridge and no, is Rudy on that record? I can't remember. I'm sorry, I don't have it on me. I don't know if Bob's still with him or it was Rudy by then, because I know that Rudy and Tom worked really, really good in concert with Ozzy. That was a damn good rhythm section there too. But I know that Tommy left, and just for a smidgen, I don't know if any of you guys remember, Carmine Appice shows up. And I'm like, touche. The one that's hiding behind me is the I don't give a fuck bear. He was a limited edition. Anywho, I'm just shitting, Tom. So the thing is that, hey Sam, how are you? And I said, nice to come over here. So the thing is, Jake got screwed. Jake got screwed out of Bark at the Moon. Carmine got booted off the tour for Bark at the Moon because he went off and wanted to sell his own merch too. That was the reason why he got thrown off. And I'm like, why can't you sell your damn merch at the table too? Yeah, fine. We're here because Ozzy's here, but what's it going to hurt to throw a couple objects of Carmine's? I don't know, whatever. So, and then Jake was promised for Ultimate Sin. He got fucked over again, and that's the reason why he disappears. And then Mr. Zach Wilde pops up. But of course, other people forget that Brad Gillis showed up just shortly after. He is on Speak of the Devil. And I got to talk to Brad Gillis. I did back in 2005 when I worked backstage with Night Ranger. And I remember taking a picture of Brad playing, and his eyes were rolled in the back of his head. I caught that shot. If I ever can find it, I'll show it to you guys. But I told him, I said, my God, man, you played like a man possessed. I said, no wonder why Ozzy hired you in '82, which of course Brad chuckled about. And I didn't know it at the time because he didn't bring it up, but I guess Brad was best man for Ozzy and Wedding. See what I did there? So yeah, and then if I remember correctly, Bernie Tormey, he played a handful of gigs too. Can't forget those guys either. Shift from that to, how about Outlaws? Southern Rock. This is one of those bands that really just didn't get a lot of the damn due that they deserved. Most people know them for Greengrass and High Tides or Ghost Riders in the Sky. But damn it, they could play. They could play. Straight out of Florida, that's where those guys were. I don't want to say this was Illinois' answer to Fleetwood Mac, 70s version, because I probably would be giving them a little more accolades than they need to. But the music gets interesting because you do have three female leads, and it's Tantrum. Tantrum was near the Chicagoland area. They cut a couple albums for Ovation, which Ovation was really known for Bonnie Colic records and Steve Dahl, if anybody remembers Steve Dahl at all. He cut some records with the Teenage Radiation. I met Steve Dahl once. We in my college, they had a interview segment, and unfortunately, a lot of these guys were a little younger than me, really. So they didn't know much about the Steve Dahl, Gary Meyer. But I went off and I asked him about Brian Wilson. See, I think so too. Thank you. But I asked him a question about Brian Wilson because Steve Dahl shows up on, if I remember correctly, 2 co-writes for Brian Wilson's first solo album in the 90s. And for a while, I want to say a couple years actually, he lived somewhere in St. Charles, Illinois. Now, St. Charles, Illinois is still Chicagoland, but it was south of where I live, south of Elgin, Illinois, which is home of the Elgin Mental Hospital and a bunch of other things. I would have loved to have met Brian at least once. But Steve went off and said gracious things about Brian. He said the creative process was interesting, and he got to sit on a couple sessions. Can't talk. How about Foghat? Energized, 1974. I love Foghat. I think Foghat, as of course 3/4 of the band came out of Savoy Brown, Kim Simmons and company, jumped, made their own little band, and honest to God, I like their 70s work. I really, really do. When they hit the 80s, it gets a little diluted, of course. People start leaving and things, but out of all honesty, I think the last really, really good record it was Boogie Motel from '79. I actually have a complete band signed Boogie Motel. Here's another one that doesn't get their just dues. Lovin' Spoonful. Hums of the Lovin' Spoonful. I said hum. Anywho, these guys were something else. They really, really were back then. Of course, this is the album with Summer in the City, Rain on the Roof. Here, I'll show you this. That's your inner sleeve. How about that? True story here on this. True story. The Lovin' Spoonful were supposed to get a television show. They were supposed to get a television show. Well, something went wrong. They didn't like it, and that's when they ended up looking for the Monkees parts. You know what? Thank you for stopping by, Steve. Honestly, 5 a.m. Oh God, I'm sorry. 5 a.m. Ugh. You have yourself a good night and take care, my friend. I'll be doing one of these streams soon. It ain't gonna be tomorrow. Probably ain't gonna be till oh hell, I don't know. It might be Saturday or Sunday. Will be my next stream, just to let you guys know. Thanks for stopping by. I'd say about another 10 minutes or so, okay, guys? And then I'm going to have to head off too. Here's another one. There was a big collection I ended up getting of hard rock heavy metal records a couple years back. And this guy just put a little name label on every copy he owned. So I jokingly call it the Steve Los collection, Accept's Midnight Highway. That's right. Except. I like early Accept. Balls to the wall, baby! Anyways, so I like Accept. I like Metal Heart. I like a few other ones. I'll be on next time you're on. Yes, please do. That would be nice. That'd be very nice for a visit. She's a Mystery to Me is a awesome tune. I got to meet one member of the Lovin' Spoonful. I do have a complete band signed Lovin' Spoonful, but it was I knew the provenance of this. It was actually from a lady fan that saw them in the mid '60s, and I have it, like I said, it's on the back cover. I'll have to show that to you guys sometime. That's really cool. So I have a whole band side to that. But Jerry Yester is the only member that I ever saw from Lovin' Spoonful, and he came in late '67. I think he's on She's a Mystery to Me, actually. And then Everything's Playing, and then Revelation '69, which was the last Spoonful album. I'm not going to tell you why he's not in the band anymore. Google it. You'll find out for yourself if you're bored. Yes, I love Night Shift too, Mike. I do. I had oh boy. So so yeah, so let's see here. Oh, How about this? I got this. Where's everybody? Where's my Maca people? Where's my Maca people? Oh, look. Here's the inner sleeve. Oh, here's a crummy Beatles impression for whoever's left here, because we were talking about this earlier today. Tilly Cox, do you want to have trucks with the Beatles? I love that movie. I gotta have to watch it again soon. It's walk hard. Needs a little cleaning, but oh hey, here's a back-to-back Maca. Yeah. Truthfully, this might have been the first album I bought. I think this was the first album I bought brand new. So I must have been 8 when this came out. And of course, listen to what the man said was all over the radio. Ah, this is the one with the bonuses. Hang on a minute. The little planet chart. And the sticker. Yes, I've got the sticker. Venus and Mars. All right, tonight. I paid 50 cents for this all, by the way. And I'm not going to unfold the poster. Or excuse me, 2 posters. There is a teensy tear that big. You know, I always kind of thought, now that I know the story, if only John Lennon would have went to New Orleans with them on that to visit him. Let me ask you, Beatle people, do you think it would have happened? Do you think either A, you would have had a McCartney-Lennon song, and I say McCartney-Lennon for a reason, or do you think that John would have sang backgrounds or played some guitar on a Wings track? One track. I think if John went, he would have done it. You would have had an interesting time. It would have been fun. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not a real big fan. I of course I know Maybe I'm Amazed is the big one off of here. There's maybe about 2 or 3 songs I like. I'm not a big fan of that. He's only done 3 albums, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, touche, Tim, touche. I know where you're going on that. I picked up a McCartney 1 LP on Columbia Records not too long ago. You're right. They are fairly hard to find these days. You find any of those Columbia label represses of any of those, and you find them cheap, grab them. Because, yeah, if I remember correctly, they only did it from like 79 or 80 to 85, and then they stopped the press for Columbia because it reverted back to Capitol. So, yeah, good job on that. I think what did I come across? Shit, I'm trying to remember now. Was it a Wings at the Speed of Sound? I think I found a Wings at the Speed of Sound on a Columbia label. I may still have it. I'm not sure. The definitive version of Maybe I'm Amazed is the Wings Over America album. Yeah, I do love that. I do love all of that. Excuse me. No, I don't have it. Excuse me. Tasty. No, I'm kidding. Okay. We're almost done for the day. Hang on a minute. How about Great White? How about Great White? Once bitten, twice shy. My, once bitten, twice shy, baby. And yeah, I only got it for $3. I saw Great White open for Whitesnake in 1988, and they put on a damn good show. And if I remember correctly, I think, was it the last song? It was one of the last songs on the set was Save All Your Love, or Save Your Love, right? Yeah. Save Your Love. Yeah. I like these guys. It's just such a shame, Jack Russell ain't with them. They got Mitch Malloy has been there the last few years. Mitch had a solo career, and for 2 seconds he was in Van Halen. That was about it. How about Styx, Cornerstone? My opinion, not a real great album, but I ended up getting it because I had all the other albums. Yeah, I know. Lights, Babe. Trying to think here. Anything else? Borrowed Time. Yeah, not a real strong album in my opinion, but I got it nevertheless. I'd rather listen to Pieces of Eight or Grand Illusion or Equinox. I'm not a big fan of Crystal Ball. I don't like Crystal Ball either very well. Excuse me. I have a weird thing inside. I think I burned something a couple of years ago at the back of my throat. And when it hits a spot, I cough. I can't do anything about it. Some people are probably, no. I've been like this for about 3 or 4 years now. That's why I try to gargle or something. Just what you wanted to hear. You ain't going to see that on PBS, kids. I prefer Ian Hunter's original. Yeah, I like Ian Hunter. I love Mott. I love Mott the Hoople. I do like the Hunter Ronson band. I know he did those reunion gigs, which I still think would have been fun to catch. I think there's a live recording out from that stuff. I'll leave you with one last thing for tonight, okay? This is a goofy thing. It's a 78, but it's if you collect 78s, maybe you don't collect 78s, but I've heard about these things and I always wanted to find one. My friend Doug from the Vinyl Grotto radio show, he's got a bunch of these. But I happen to have a V disc. If you know what a V disc is, okay, it looks like it's a 12-inch, okay, but it's pretty much. It was played on armed forces radio stations in World War II, and you had different people that you normally would not catch on record. Yeah, see, that's not the Mott Live reunion. That's right. Thank you, Tim. Like for example, this one here has got Creole Love Call, Duke Ellington and his orchestra, and then the other side is Hal McIntyre and his orchestra. Now, and it does say, I love it. It says swing on the one side, and then the other side says mood music. But in the thing, and you cannot read it real small here. Okay, basically it says, oh yeah, this is another thing too. You played it from the outside going in. How about that for strange? So you'd play from out going in on these things. These after World War II were supposed to be destroyed. That was the orders, but a lot of them ended up coming back home. I found this sucker. I don't have a 78 player right now, but I've kept it all this time because it's my first and only V disc. Found it for 10 cents. 10 cents when Salvation Army had a sale. 10 cents. And if you think I was going to let this go, So let's see here real quick. And then we're going to fly in a minute. V-discs are very cool. Nice find. Well, like I said, Tim, thank you. If you find any out in the wild, grab them. Even if they look like an elephant trampled on them, I have been told some will clean up well. But it doesn't hurt to hang on to them. Some of them are actually pretty rare, I am led to believe. Let's see. I picked up a Columbia pressing of Band on the Run back in like 85. Wish I would have held on to it. I kept it in the shrink till I sold it in like 93 for pennies on the dollar. Well, how did we know, right? You never know, but it's nice you had it. So remember, Macca fans, look for those Columbia pressings. Even you're like, I already got the array. Get the damn Columbia if it's cheap. There was a 2-year musician strike. That's right, and the government pretty much went off, and I don't want to say forced these people, but in a way they did. But you ended up coming up with some really interesting combinations. I'm told. I know online there's kind of like a checklist or something like that. If you're bored, go check at the scope of the spectrums of the artists that were played for V-Disc back in those 2 years. You're right. You only paid $4.99 for. Hey, that was a good steal. That was a good steal and deal. All right, so listen, truthfully, guys, once again, I'm glad you guys showed up. I really, really am. I'm grateful. Beans, Tim Allen. Yes, I'm looking up as we go along. President Lesh, Petrified Mike. Let's see, Sam St. John, Tom Hundahay. I hope I'm saying that right, Tom. I hope I didn't butcher it. And let's see, anybody else that I missed? I'm looking real quick here, guys. I don't really see anybody else. I think I caught just about everybody, I hope. But so, like I was mentioning, Prague Hat too. That's right. And first name Ivermectin. I hope I'm saying that. God, I hate it when I butcher people. Paul Nolan from Ireland, of course. Groovy Lisa. Yeah. So everybody, I'm glad you all popped in and stopped by. I also want to mention, I think this is really, really awesome. I hit 700 subs today. I really am. It's nice. That's really, really nice. And I thank everyone out there in the VC that has helped to get me to that, and I'm hoping to be around for quite a long time. I hope for you guys, I love what you guys do, and when you guys got channels, and I love, oh, well, Tom, I'm sorry. Hunyaddy? I'm going to screw this up. I guess you know what? If you ever meet me, you can call me Paul Peasy. Paul Peace. People call me Paul Peace sometimes. Some people just call me asshole, but I had some guy call me a son of a bitch. Yeah, he called me a son of a bitch at work yesterday. I'm not a violent person, but God, I would have loved to have popped him. Just one freebie, like a get out of jail free. I'm throwing my card down. Bam! That's the end of it. I don't know. Whatever. Better. Okay. Better. I'll take Hunyadi. That's my best one. I'll just say Tom for now because I'm tired. So but I love you guys, and like I said, if I'm going to do this again, it ain't going to be till the weekend. I'll probably go visit some streams tomorrow night, but I got work back again on Friday. These are off days for me. That's why, and so I'll be back, to do a stream on the weekend. But until then, I'll be floating around on everybody else's. And once again, guys, you know what? I love you guys. You take care. God bless. Rock on, and we will do this again in a few days.